Hello there. My name is Hunt Barclay. I live in Silver Lake, New Hampshire, and I've got a story to tell about the SAT and my experience with it. Also, the experience of two friends of mine who had some very positive results. So here we go. First, me. I was diagnosed about 8 years ago with prostate cancer, and I was told that I would have to go and have my prostate taken out and have chemo and blah 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 blah. The whole works, you know. So I told the urologist, "Thank you very much, sir. I'll be back." And I went online and started to look around. Well, I quickly found a wonderful video called "Cancer: The Forbidden Cures," and in the middle of that was a segment on Rene Casse, who got the SAT, as most of you probably know already, from the Indian shaman, and went on to establish a free clinic and had some really wonderful experiences treating thousands of people with the tea. Well, okay, so I decided to get the tea, and after a few false starts with the companies that weren't selling the original version of the tea, I ended up with the folks Brian and Gina, and basically their tea is not only priced beautifully, but also has the sorrel roots, and so it's basically exactly the product you need. So I started taking it, and my PSA tumbled from 22 to under 10 in about 2.5, 3 months, and I've been in remission, we'll call it in remission, for the last 8 years, okay, right? So basically, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, that's part one. Now, part two is my friends, so let's go on that. Now, not only my own case, but I've also had a wonderful experience with a couple of my friends who were, well, let me tell the stories. Basically, I have one friend, Gus, who had bladder cancer and was only weeks from death. He was a medical guy, you know, he liked the doctors and all, so he wouldn't even listen to me talk about the tea until finally I visited him, and I said, "Gus, you know, your skin's all transparent. You can hardly get to the kitchen to make yourself a meal." I said, "You know, you're going to be gone in a few weeks. Why don't you just try the tea?" "All right," he says, "give me the damn tea." So I gave him the tea, and a month later, I went to visit him again. He was bouncing around like a 10-year-old child, and he's been that way ever since. So that's one experience I had, and the other one was with the fellow Darren, who fixes my boat every year, and he arrived a year ago with a terrible wound in his hand. It was so disgusting looking, I could hardly look at it. And I said, "What's going on with your hand?" He says, "I got cancer. The doctors say they may have to give me chemo and cut off my hand, or at the very least I won't be able to use it, and et cetera, et cetera." So I said, "Wow." Well, I said, "Well, have you heard of a SAT?" And he said, "No." And so I said, "Well, why don't you just try it?" In fact, I offered to give it the first batch for free. And he tried it, and I didn't see him for the whole winter, and he came back the next year, which was last year, to do my boat. And I was afraid to look at his hand. I said, "Darren," I said, "how's your hand?" And he put his hand out to look at it. All that was on his hand was a small scar. And I said, "How about mobility?" He said, "Yes, I've got full mobility." When I started taking the tea, in a matter of weeks, the whole thing began to shrink and finally disappear, except for this small scar, and I have perfect mobility. The doctors are amazed. So basically, he's doing fine. So I've had 3 experiences: myself, prostate cancer, and 2 other friends who well, one of whom was dying when I finally got him to take the tea, and the other one had a ghastly wound. Well, all very positive experiences, and you've come to the right place for the right price and for TLC. These people who run this place are totally committed. They're wonderful people, and in several instances, when I was finding tea for people who had no money and needed some help with it, they rushed right in and wouldn't take a dime from me. So basically, here's where you want to stay, and thank you very much for watching this video.